Report presented by Sherwin-Williams. Game 6 of the NBA Finals, 9 Eastern on ABC. Andre Iguodala and Golden State, they can win their 4th title over the last 8 seasons, but it hasn't won a road closeout game this postseason. Meanwhile, on the other side, for Boston, it's winner an offseason of what-ifs. Al Horford, 26 points in Game 1, just 30 in the last 4 games combined. Let's get back to the NBA Countdown crew with much more. Greeny, take it away.
All right, Kevin, thank you as we continue to work our way towards opening tip. And you can see a beautiful day here in Boston. The Red Sox actually had an afternoon affair at Fenway, but all attention will be here at the Garden tonight as the Celtics try to keep their season alive and their championship hopes alive. Gary Payton II is one of those standing in their way for the Warriors, and standing at just 6'3", but he's one of the best finishers at the rim. According to Second Spectrum, he shot over 77% on layups and dunks this year, highest field goal percentage by any player with at least 150 attempts. All the others on this list are centers. And Gary Payton II is good enough to spend a few minutes with us here on Countdown as we get ready for tonight's Game 6. Gary, thank you so much for doing this. And let's start with the big picture question here. Should you win a title tonight, you and your father would become the 5th all-time father-son duo to both win NBA championships. How could you put into words what that would mean for you and for your family?
That'd be huge. That'd be pretty dope experience to, to share with him and, talk about back in the day, later on in life. And just for the fam, it's just, I know they're so proud and so happy. It'll just be a huge moment for, everybody.
Gary, can you talk to the young players out there and the fans out there about the things that you've been able to overcome, the places that you've played, the roles that you've had? Right now you're coming back from injury, and just that perseverance that you've shown to get to this point.
If you got a goal and you want to do something, you want to prove other people wrong. I had to prove my dad wrong. Just get to it, put it in your mind, have a mindset, tell yourself, sign a contract with yourself and tell yourself that, whatever it takes, whatever you got to do, wherever you got to go, there's really there's no stopping. Just if you want to get it done, just do it and don't stop.
Gary, we tend to look at the great things about the father-son relationship and growing up with a dad who did what your dad did, but it's not always easy going into the family business. What are some of the more difficult things as you had to navigate that, particularly when you were younger?
Just like you said, tough challenge, trying to take the route that my dad took and, follow his footsteps and playing NBA. It's already as hard to do to make the NBA, especially as an undrafted, not a top guy coming out of high school and whatnot. But, I did this on accident, actually. I didn't try to do this. Me not trying to do this essentially ended me here. I just enjoy the journey, not think about, what my dad did or how my dad did it, but just do it my own way.
Well, you're doing it your own way now, GP. There's no doubt about that. Proud of you. I want to ask you this, though. Now that you're here, you are teammates with universally recognized as the greatest shooting backcourt in the history of basketball. When you see the role that you play for this team now, tell me how you view yourself in the future. Is it similar, or do you feel like you've evolved to a point where we could expect and should expect even bigger things from you next season?
A bit of both, Stephen, a bit of both. These guys that I'm playing here, essentially, for my generation, this is like the Michael Jordan, Steph's like the Michael Jordan of our generation, and, just to be on the same court and help him, continue to add on to his legacy, and the rest of those guys it's just amazing. But I definitely love it here and what I do here and my role here on this team. Hopefully in the future, I can continue to do the same thing and just help those guys build on their legacy. So, like you said, I'm looking forward to the future and helping those guys continue to build on their legacy.
Gary, this is Jalen. I have to ask you one question before we let you get out here. Another question before we let you get out of here. What is something you must take away from the Celtics in particular if you guys are going to be champions tonight?
We got to be physical. Bring the force to them. I don't think they like, being touched and whatnot and having force. So if I bring the force, we bring the force to them for 48 minutes. I think we're going to be on top at the end of the day.
Well, the trophy is in the building, and it's ready if you guys are able to do the job. But one way or another, Gary, we really appreciate you taking the time on a game night. Thank you. Good luck tonight, and we very much appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Gary.
Appreciate you guys having me. Thank you so much.
Action-packed day here in Boston, just 7 miles away from TD Garden. You had the first round of the U.S. Open. Highlights coming your way, and the Celtics fans, they're ready to go as we are 2.5 hours away from Game 6 of the NBA Finals and Jaylen Brown facing elimination. By the way, the Celtics have been fantastic when facing this situation. That is elimination. Keep in mind, Brown leading all players with 24 fourth-quarter points in the finals so far. As I mentioned, the Celtics, they're at their best when their backs are against the wall. 3-0 when facing elimination this postseason, including winning 2 Game 7s in each of their last 2 series. That features the Bucks and the Heat. Warriors are well aware that closeout games are the toughest games, and this postseason no different, especially on the road. How about this team 0-3 in potential road clinching opportunities so far this season? Can they finally get that done tonight and clinch their 4th title in 8 years? We will find out tonight on ABC. A Sports Center on the Road, presented by Rocket Mortgage, continues courtside as we're less than 3 hours away from Game 6 of the NBA Finals. Great to have Monica McNutt. Bring in, I appreciate the color here on this floor.
Thanks, Kevin.
And you go monochrome. I appreciate that, Kendrick.
I mean, you know, I'm chilling. I mean, I don't
Are you laughing because you're being a hater, or what's going on here?
I'm laughing because I'm happy to see both of y'all.
Absolutely.
It was a great laugh.
She's here to brighten up this 3-shot. Let me tell you that, K-Perk. No doubt about it. Hey, listen, when we talk about the Celtics, again, 3-0 in elimination games. You've been riding the Celtics all season. You feel really good about the way this series is going to go the next 2 games. That means you expect to win tonight. Why? What is it about this team that makes you feel like they're going to force a Game 7?
Well, when you think about adversity and overcoming adversity, this is what this Celtic team is, right? They love facing adversity. You look at it, they were down 3-2 against the defending champs. They won the Game 6 on the road, then followed up with a Game 7. But I think Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are going to come out tonight pissed off, especially Jason Tatum. He's been getting a lot of criticism, and rightfully so. I think he's going to actually have that moment tonight where he's the best player on the floor. Jaylen Brown said, hey, we are not scared of the Warriors, and the last time Jaylen Brown approached the game and he was talking some noise, he backed it up.
It's interesting you said they're going to be pissed off because after Game 5, Draymond Green said Steph is going to be livid after going 0 for 9 because we're not going to see that from Steph Curry again. 16 points, and yet the Warriors still won on an off night for him at home here. If you look at the situation, the way Steph is going, 0 for 9 from 3. In the 38 games after he goes 0 for in his career, he shoots 49%, Monica, from beyond the arc, including a game where in 2016 he knocked down 13 threes here.
Nagani.
What are your expectations?
Well, he's definitely not going to have an 0 for again. We know that. Now, here's what I think is interesting. Steph had an 0 for, and this Warriors team still was able to get the victory, right? That's because of the supporting cast. So are both going to show up tonight, Steph and the supporting cast? I mean, look at the numbers there when it comes to Steph, right? 20.6 points per game, 49% from 3. I think that he'll shoot the 3 ball well today, but if the Celtics can contain one, either Steph or the supporting cast, I think they will be okay. And so for me, I had a chance to talk to Steph immediately after that offer. He actually was in pretty good spirits. He said all good things have to come to an end, and he shouted out his teammates in terms of the ability to carry them on a night that he was a little bit off from behind the 3-point line. But I actually liked what the Celtics did to him in that ball game in terms of sending the double team on occasion. I think tonight they'll look to mix it up just to keep him a little bit off balance.
How do you defend Steph? Your expectations coming into tonight?
You know what? I think you put your defensive player of the year and Marcus Smart on Steph Curry and tell him to man the hell up. When you think about the Steve Kerr era, Marcus Smart has been the most efficient player for us guarding Steph Curry. I think it's like 85 points per 100 possessions. You know, I don't usually dive into all those numbers and stuff. But I just think that Marcus Smart tonight, we're going to see why when you put him in a cage with a whole bunch of lines, 5 lines, you get 6 of them.
Well, there's a reason why you're the reigning defensive player of the year. You've got to figure it out tonight.
Absolutely. And he takes a lot of pride in that. I think not only what he can do as a defensive player of the year, but also being a leader for this group.
Okay, keep an eye, too, on potential flops and how this game is officiated tonight moving forward, of course, to keep this